MikesCornholeBags. Today I'm reviewing the Kingslayer by BG. I've received more requests to review this bag over the last few months than any other bag out there. Finally broke down, bought a set last month. I've been throwing them for several weeks, so let's go ahead and dive in, break these bags down. I'll tell you everything I know about them. As always, I'll start with materials. Slow side. This is a hybrid material. It's the same slow side that you find on the Killshots Wolverine, the Brotherhood Guardian, the Titan Dart, the True Cornhole Tremor and Tremor XD, the Southwest LTD. There's a lot of bags out there that use this material. Wonderful material. It's a really great hybrid, which is probably, it's not, I would say the Viper R material is probably the most popular hybrid material out there. This is probably right there, second or third. Maybe that clone material is second. This is third. It's right in that range. It plays, I call it a 5-speed. It plays a touch slower than that Viper R hybrid material does. It starts out with quicker, maybe 5.5, 6, brand new. Once you start throwing it, you break it in, it kind of softens up, starts to fuzzle up a little bit. It gets down, I think it sells at 5-speed. It's got a ton of control for it, but still very hole friendly. It's great for running bags in the hole or playing a dirty style game, and that's the beauty of these hybrid materials is the versatility you have with them. It's also great across all board conditions, all weather conditions. So if you play in an area where humidity is an issue, or tournaments that go out, they last all day, or start in the day and go through the night, and board conditions change, weather conditions change, a bag like this material stays fairly consistent, so you can play the same bag and not have to make a lot of adjustments to your throw, even as conditions change. 5-speed and slow side is Kingslayer's. Fast side, I'm fairly certain this is the same fast side that BG uses on the fast side of their Witcher. I don't know if it's the ink that BG uses or whatever. This material has a little bit of a different feel than I'm used to of that material. But I think it's the same fast side they use on the Witcher, which is the same fast side that you find on the Big Mac bags, whatever, the Cornhole Coastal Creature, Fear Icon. Some other bags use it. It's a really good material. It's very similar to, not quite the same as that Pro Sniper Viper material, but it plays very similar. If you're familiar with that Pro Sniper Viper fast side, you have the same playability. It's just a slight difference. A lot of players, when you pick the two materials up, can't tell the difference if you don't know what you're looking for. You can't feel the difference. So it's very similar to those. It's a 9-speed. It's great for pushing, collecting your blockers. It's great for blowing up piles, slide through messes. It's a wonderful fast side material. We're about a 5-9 speed on these Kingslayers. Template wise, it's a medium template, but it's starting to get close to what I would call a large template. It's on that edge between a medium and large for me. I'm still going to call it a medium, but it's on the larger side of medium, which is odd for me. Typically, BG has what I would usually call a medium to small template in my experience. They've gotten had to go a little bit bigger with some of the specs that the ACL has put out recently. I haven't thrown any other 2025 stamp bags from BG that I'm aware of. So I don't know if this is a template change that BG made across the board, or if it's just for these Kingslayers. But this is definitely was surprising me because I wasn't expecting to have a bag as big as this. This is out of the norm of what BG's made in the past for me. Nothing wrong with it. I just didn't expect that. The fill in here is a medium amount of fill, and BG put enough fill in this bag, even though that template is bigger than most bags. They put enough fill that it's not a real loose, sloppy, floppy bag. Typically when you get a larger template bag, the bag gets really loose and sloppy. This bag has flop to it. It is not overly floppy whatsoever. I really like the amount of flop. BG put just enough fill in here with this template size so it has flop. That flop gives the bag a ton of forgiveness. But again, it's not overly sloppy. It's not a sloppy bag, a loose bag. I can grab this bag, I can grip it. I still have complete control. Typically, when you get those really large, sloppy bags, even when I butterfly grip them, they're still flopping around, which makes it harder to control that bag when it comes out. There's enough fill here that when I grab it, I have control. I can lock this bag down like I would with a medium or smaller template bag. But I have that flop and forgiveness for when if I don't throw flat, right? If you're not a flat bag thrower, the floppier, a little bit bag, a little more flop is going to be more forgiving. This bag lands softer and it doesn't have as much of a bounce or kick that you would get with a bag that doesn't have as much flop to it. It's also very forgiving around the hole in the sense that I talk about the landing zone, that rectangular box you need to land your bag in to still put it in the hole. And when you get a larger bag, tends to have a larger landing zone because there's more bag. So if you're missing left or right, all you have to do is drop that corner in, get that corner to grab the hole. It'll hook the hole and pull the bag back in. And these Kingslayers have a really nice landing zone. They're very forgiving around the hole. So the template size really aids to the forgiveness in this bag. I love what BG's done with this bag. The fill in here is a mixed fill. It's got some round fill in here. It's got some flat fill. I think it's the same fill that BG uses in their Wizard L. BG's they have like a speed chart with the material speeds and the fill in there. It's kind of vague. I think this is what they call their performance blend, but they've got performance blend listed for a lot of bags that I thought had different fills. I don't know if BG's made some fill changes this year and changed from the older bag styles, but it's a mixed fill in here. I like the fill. I'm always a fan of more beads, less flat, but I don't mind when you go mixed because the mix, again, it gives that bag forgiveness, right? The bag doesn't have a lot of bounce to it. It has just enough movement for the shot shaping cuts, rolls, and flops, but not overly aggressive. So it's not really going to punish you if you don't throw flat, if that makes sense. These Kingslayers are also ACL stamps. So you're playing the ACL, you can throw these. Let's jump in and talk more about playability on this. And this is a versatile bag. If you want to get up there and run bags in the hole, put your 4 bags in, outscore your opponent, you can do it very easily. These two materials, very hole friendly. The fills are very hole friendly fill. As I mentioned, it's very forgiving on the holes, so it does a great job of grabbing the holes. If your consistency and accuracy is your problem like mine is, and you're missing a little bit left or right, this bag does a great job of kind of making up for that mistake. It's also a good bag for playing a dirty style game. And one of the things I noticed about this bag when I got it was the corners, right? These corners are smaller, a little bit more square than what a typical bag I think is. And what that does is it gives the bag it helps the bag collect and grab other bags. So if you throw a blocker up there, you can get more aggressive and put that bag more on your opponent's side. Knowing you come down to your next bag, slow side or fast, the corners are going to hit and they're going to grab. But when you have a more rounded corner, the corners just want to spin by and kind of push the bag out of the way. When the corners are more square, you've got more flat surface here. Those two flat surfaces hit, they grab, they hook, and it pulls that bag in. So these bags do a great job of grabbing and dragging the next bag with it. So if you throw a blocker and get more aggressive and put it on your opponent's side, you can come down to your last bag, kind of slick side, hit it, pull it, and bring it in. And like I said, because they're very hole friendly, you get up near the hole, it's just going to drop in for you really, really well. So the bags do a great job of that dirty style game. You've got the ability to throw cuts, rolls, flops with these bags. Maybe not the best bag for a beginner, but if you're average to advanced in the skill sets, you can definitely do it. You have the ability to throw those. It does a great job, right? I love the options this bag gives you when you throw it up there, put a blocker up there. It's a big enough bag. It takes up a lot of real estate in the board. Really makes your opponent work to get around it or go over it. And then you have the ability to kind of throw your cuts or rolls and get around it. And then the last bag, come down fast side and collect it if your opponent hasn't pushed it through. It also gives you those options if your opponent's throwing a dirty style a game and throwing blockers up there. With this bag, you've got the ability to kind of cut, roll, flop, get around their bags and leave their bags there. And if you need to, enough speed on the fast side to push through and collect the bags in there. If you're trying to push through multiple bags, there's enough flop here. I didn't have a problem with the bags clogging up the hole. So if I was trying to push through, I had 2 bags up there kind of side by side or stagger. I had to push through. I didn't have them clog. We seemed to have enough flop. They folded up and went in really well. So all in all, I love the playability of the bag. One other thing I mentioned too, I meant to mention some of my materials I didn't is, and this is some information, there's some information out there. I've got a lot of questions about this, is the liner in the other side of this material. And people ask me, is it a quote unquote performance liner? I put a podcast episode out yesterday. I'll tag that in the end screen of this video if you want to click and go watch it if you haven't yet. I dive deeper into what I determine or what I call a performance liner versus a regular liner. This bag has some sort of liner in there. You can feel it's a thicker material. So what that liner does is it gives this material a little more durability. It also takes the stretch out. That liner doesn't seem to stretch as much as high root material. These two materials have stretch to them. With that liner, I think this bag is going to hold its shape and structure a little better, which is why I think this bag doesn't get that sloppiness to it. Still got flop, but it gets sloppy. So the liner does a great job of kind of helping the bag hold its shape. Is it a performance liner as far as aiding in the performance and helping the bag? Technically, to me, and the way I define it, no, it's not. But that's not a bad thing. Like just because it's not a performance line doesn't mean it's a negative. It just, when I say a bag has it, that's a positive. But I'm not knocking the bag. I just want to clarify because I've had some questions, some messages come to me. I've seen some posts about it. I just want to clarify the way that I define it. It isn't. But I dive deeper in that in my podcast. I don't want to waste time here in the review breaking that down. And if you want to go watch that, it is. But there is a liner here which gives the bag a little bit of a thicker feel. So if you like this material and you like how thin they feel in some other bags that don't use it, this is going to be a feel a little bit thicker, different than what you're used to. My favorite bag that BG makes is the regular Wizard. I love that bag. I've always loved the way that bag plays. This bag may take the place of that, honestly. This is a really solid bag. I think some of you are going to like it. And some of you may not like the template size. It's not like what you're used to from BG. Some of you may not like the way the bag feels and handle that. But honestly, for most players, I think this is a better option than a lot of the other bags that BG offers. And I'm surprised I don't see this bag being thrown more. Maybe just because it's new and people haven't gotten their hands on it yet. Maybe they haven't got it broken well enough yet. I'm surprised I don't see this out there more. I think as more players throw this, we'll see more and more of these Kingslayers out there. That leads me into availability. BG has a website, bgcornhole.com. As always, I'll put a link down in the description for you. The bags are $115. It's $11 shipping, $126 shipped to you. That's my biggest gripe with the bags. Always been a gripe with BG is that price point. And they're really, a lot of bag companies are kind of dropping their price down. BG is not the most expensive, but they're right up there in that top 2 or 3 range of highest priced bags. Again, they have the name recognition. They're kind of the brand name. They're probably the most popular bag out there on the ACL circuit right now. If you want that name recognition, you want that brand name, you're going to pay a little bit for it. And I'm not telling you not to go buy it at that price point. If $126 fits in your budget, go buy them. BG makes great quality bags. You're not getting a bad bag at that price point. But if value is what you're looking for, I think there are some other options out there at a better value, a better deal, especially if you don't need the ACL stamp. If you don't play in the ACL and you can go ACO or non-stamp, you can find some better deals. If you've thrown them, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. As always, I thank you so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.